Was all of the cryptocurrency market saved by one vague comment from Donald Trump? What we just saw was nothing less than amazing. The title sounds like it came from a political thriller. The markets were a mess after one of the worst liquidations in the history of crypto. But as the weekend ended, something strange happened on Monday morning. Big, juicy green bubbles began to show up all over the place. Gains of 40, 50, or even 60% appear out of nowhere. It seemed like they were getting better, but there was another story going on underneath. A giant like XRP seemed to be falling behind, held back by an invisible force, while many other assets were going through the roof. What's going on here? Before we get into the dirty details of this market and the shocking things that were said on Air Force One, you should know that this is exactly when people make a lot of money. It's about being the first to see the plans. If you're sick of being caught off guard by market changes, I've put together the XRP Millionaire Blueprint, a complete guide based on over 10 years of my own study and investment experience. This isn't just another PDF, it is a step-by-step plan that will teach you how to find the next huge opportunities before they become popular. There's the link right there in the text below. Now, let's break down this strange case. Following a comment from the vice president, XRP made a big move, but then it stopped moving and formed a frustrating U-shape on the charts while its peers regained their glory. Bitcoin went back up to an amazing $115,000, and Ethereum safely went back up to $4,000. Both of them ran up hard and have been keeping their ground since then by putting in more work. Even Solana was getting close to $200 again, which is a figure it almost reached at the end of September. There is a trend that you can see in the daily charts. Solana is back where it was. Ethereum is back to where it was. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is at an even higher level, showing once more that even when things are very bad, it is still the clear winner. Anyone who is making a portfolio should remember this. Even though XRP has a very large market cap, it often moves like an altcoin. When the altcoin market goes crazy, Bitcoin has always been the most stable cryptocurrency. But there is a secret reason why Bitcoin and Ethereum did so well during this storm. It has to do with when they came out. They both have ETFs. After the stock market had closed, there was a flash crash. Take a moment to think about that. The result might have been very different if this terrible event had happened on a Thursday during business hours. There could have been a huge wave of selling from individual buyers who dumped their ETF shares. This would have meant that the ETF providers would have had to sell their own Bitcoin and Ethereum to pay for the redemptions. This would have caused a scary downward spiral of selling pressure. The market being closed was an unintended cover. This lucky time could be the main reason why the two biggest names in crypto kept their lines open. You have to wonder what will happen when XRP and Solana get their own ETFs and become part of this exclusive group. The government shutdown is still going on, so no one knows what will happen next with the market. Now we're back to XRP. While other major assets have slowly made their way back to where they were in late September, XRP is still down about 7.5% from where it was. This is exactly what makes it look so very appealing right now. It feels curled, like a spring, which could mean that a strong move is building up speed. Maybe all it takes is one spark to send it soaring back to those levels, or even higher. It's very different from assets like BNB, which has been very strong and almost quickly returned to its price before the crash. It's amazing how strong BNB is. It's a beautiful sign of market optimism. XRP's lag, on the other hand, creates a different kind of chance. One built on stored energy ready to be released. The crypto fear index has slowly gone up from very scared to just 38, but you can still feel the stress in the air. But that worry might be about to go away thanks to some very surprising words from a former president. When the futures market was almost crashing again and everyone was getting ready for it, President Trump sent a word that seemed to calm down the whole financial world. He talked about the problems with China from Air Force One and said that President Xi had a bad day and that people shouldn't worry about China. Everything will be okay. The market was dying to hear that kind of talk after the crash. A Politico reporter asked him about his tariffs and his connection with the Chinese leader. His answer was pure Trump, without any editing. He defended his tariff approach by saying that it gave the US a lot of power in negotiations and diplomatic talks. He even told a story about how he supposedly stopped a possible war between India and Pakistan in just 24 hours by threatening both countries with high taxes. Then he turned to the reporter, told her that her source was fake news, and refused to answer her question. This was a pure political show. Then he said that he still had a great relationship with President Xi and that he was a tough, smart, and great leader. He said he knew what had happened and that taxes were the reason why the US had responded to their move with something even stronger. No matter what you think about his politics, you have to agree that he knows how to make himself look strong and in charge. And that was just what the scared markets needed to hear at that very moment. This event has a direct effect on how market experts like Raoul Pal look at things. He said that what happened on Friday was a typical flash crash and that these kinds of crashes usually rebound in a sharp V shape, leading to new highs soon after. He said that something very good happened because of the crash. It got rid of a huge amount of built-up pressure. Someone else said that this crash was different because it got rid of the small trades that were needed for a pump, but Raoul strongly disagreed. He made it clear that the crash only got rid of leverage and not all retail. He said that many small buyers don't even know how to use leverage. The long-term path of the market is not really set by the mean reverting nature of leverage, but by spot buying from institutions, whales, and big companies. Violent short squeezes and flash crashes can be caused by leverage, but huge spot buys are what really give the market long-term momentum. We saw this happen. Bitcoin and Ethereum, which have a lot of support from institutions, did very well, but smaller altcoins, some of which even went to zero, were wiped out. This is a very important lesson in how to handle risks. Leverage is a game with two sides. Some traders lost all their money, but people who were shorting the market made a lot of money. People are wrong to think that there is no one left to drive the market up. When we use leverage, exchanges start opposite positions to protect themselves. This means that the net effect on the direction of the market isn't as clear-cut as many people think.